Peace and harmony, my rosebuds. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for just loving on my weirdness, because I can be that way. But today this video is going to be a very vulnerable video. God is ordaining me, is that the right word? That's the right word, to do this. So I'm going to be making this video. This video is going to be a very vulnerable video, especially if you're healing that mother-daughter wound, okay, so to speak. And I realized at this age of 28 sexy years of my life, these 28 years of my life, I'm really realizing just certain things about my relationship with my mom that I didn't know really needed attention until, you know, I'm searching for certain things in my life. And well, I'm searching for certain things as a woman in my life, and I feel like I've been kind of stagnant in certain areas because I have not, it's like God will not let me continue down the path that I'm really trying to be at, because I keep trying to avoid certain emotions or avoid certain things. And it's like I have to come to terms with these things so I can make peace with it internally for myself, okay? So a part of that has been my mother-daughter relationship. And this is not saying that my mom is a bad mother or anything like that. You know, parents have their ways and whatnot. I actually think my mother is a pretty great mother, who just needs some healing, you know, and that's all right, because I feel like that's a lot of our parents, you know. Sometimes the daughter has to parent the mother sometimes. So not just mine, but just in general, when I have conversations with certain people, it's just crazy how I'm not alone, you know. So expect a tearjerker, and I'm learning as a woman I am so okay with crying, okay? But anyways, I didn't know I had this heaviness in my heart when it came to that mother-daughter relationship until I like really started looking at the relationship with me and my daughter. And I want our relationship to be a specific way. Let me lock my nose, because you know. But anyways, I want my relationship with my daughter to be a specific way, and I just know it's not going certain ways, or it's not going to be certain ways, if I don't address how I really feel about my mother as I grew up and what I saw. So I have to address those things, or we have to address those things as we continue to get older, and as we break these generational curses. You know, people love to speak on breaking generational curses as this, oh God, oh, I'm a generational breaker. Like, girl, ain't nothing sweet about it, okay? It's a tough journey, that too. It's a tough journey. Like, seriously, breaking ways and traditions that are just unfathomable. Is that a word? Unfathomable. I'm not saying it right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Unfathomable. Yeah, I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the dang on comment section. I ain't right. I ain't come here to speak English. I'm trying to speak every other language but English right now. But unfathomable, I think that's the word. Anyways, correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't come here to be politically correct. But I was in Juice Head. Shout out to Juice Heads. They make the best acai bowls. And I was in there and I was journaling, because I'm like, man, why do I feel heavy today, and today is like Mother's Day. Like, I feel, and it's not even, I think it's just the overload of just different things, but specifically mother-daughter relationship that was heavy on me today. And I remember my Nana was telling me, you know, you have to make room for forgiveness for your mom, and you know, so that way you can be at peace with it and you can move on with your life, and da 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 da. And so I don't know, that was just heavy on me today. And so I was like, okay, well, let me go in my I like to call this my Nana book. My Nana gave me all of these. She gave me a Bible. She gave me prayer cards. She gave me the book of Bible promises. Like, she gave me a whole bunch of everything. Okay, so there ain't no reason I should be struggling with this journey. I really cherish this. So I went to the prayer cards today, and I was just looking for some. I shuffled them like I got my tarot cards. I shuffled them, and this particular one wouldn't drop out of my hand. So it says, a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. And I was like, well, I'll be there, you know? A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. And I had to really sit there and journal out, you know, why I wasn't at peace with myself when it came to the relationship that I had with my mother. And forgive me, Mom, if you're watching this video, because I think she follows me on YouTube. I don't know, she kind of like older, you know, the older generation don't really know. I don't really do a lot of stuff on the internet. But if this video come across you, just know this is my story and how I perceive things. Please don't take it personal. But I realized in my teenage years, because my mom, one thing my mom has always done for me was support me in anything. She didn't matter, it didn't matter what it was. My mom was always supporting me. Like, I give my mom that. Like, she supported me in everything that I did. My mom always spoke highly of me. Just, my mom always tell me if she didn't do nothing else, she raised us, and she raised us right. That's what she would say. You know, if she didn't do nothing else, she raised us right, and I definitely agree with that. And it was a particular time in my life where I was just around, I think I just had got my menses. And for y'all that don't know, I'm sorry, my nose running. Oh my God, I'm sorry. For y'all who don't know, a young lady receiving her first menses, this is on a spiritual level. A young girl experiencing her menses, and it's not celebrated, or she's not educated on it, or she doesn't have the presence of her mom during those different hormonal changes that she will be experiencing, it makes it really hard for that little girl to really grow up to know herself and to love herself, because that particular time period, which is a rites of passage, she is supposed to be really studying her mom, or really behind her mom, really embodying what it is to be a young woman. And so let's just say I had an experience where that was taken from me, you know, of course by my mother's choices, but it was taken away from me. And so as a woman figure, the next woman figure for me was my sister, which my sister is literally like my mother figure. My sister influences me a lot, and my sister is a very amazing person, individual, like all of that, even with her strength, you know, as the first child, you know. I also didn't realize a lot of first child, they hold a lot of pressure, you know. They have a lot of pressure built onto them, and I could feel that, you know. So I tried my hardest not to give my sister pushback, you know, when she was telling me to do something, or, you know, whatever the case may be, because I knew that, wow, I don't have my mom right now. Who am I going to look up to? And this is also where the village that you hold around your children is so important. And it's not to say that my grandmother was not there, or, you know, the adults wasn't there, but they were there. But into the understanding of, like, mom being a daughter to my mother. And I think this is where me and my sister really clinged. Like, I think we were always close, but we really clinged tight to each other when... I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to cry. But yeah, we clinged really tight. And that's all we had was each other. And I'm extremely grateful and thankful for that, for the strength of my sister, and just having, you know, hold on, y'all, because why this man parking next to me like this? Hold on, because we got to see who come out of here, because, you know, people be, I got my doors locked, you know, and I don't have to reach under the seat. But, you know, just that strength alone with my sister, it was very tight knit. Like, you couldn't break, like, it nothing you could have said, could have did, and it's still to this day like this. Like, you cannot, like, me and my sister bond is like like, you'll play with somebody else, but you ain't gonna play with us. Like, that's literally how we walked. That's how we did everything. And it just made me realize that when I was sitting in here in Juice Heads, that I really had to forgive my mother, because I feel like at the time when she was able to actually come back to us, I feel like I thought everything was going to be, you know, smooth sailing, but it was not that. It was pretty much like, I just felt like my mom was running from the choices that she had made, you know, and, well, the result of the choices that she had made. And, you know, when she came home, it was, I was thinking it was going to be like more of a come home, we bond, type of thing. And it ended up being the opposite, you know. It was to the point where she was barely home, you know. Then at the time, she was married to my stepdad, and they ended up getting a divorce my senior year. And I honestly haven't did the healing on that part to see. I don't even think it's really anything to really heal from in that aspect, or it hasn't come across me yet. But I don't know, I just kind of like, I just kind of seen it happening, so it really wasn't like a surprise, I guess. But anyways, get back to the mother-daughter relationship. And, you know, for a long time, I would be super angry at my mother for just everything, like how she acted, what she was doing, who she was hanging with. And, you know, around that time, it didn't really, I'm mad at her, I'm mad at the world, because I'm like, why is my mother, like, not mothering me right now? And then I had an epiphany today when I was journaling, and I was just like, you know what, she is probably still running from herself, and she's been running from herself since this is like over a decade ago. This is, how old am I? I'm 28. This was almost, because this was happening when I was like 12, 13. oh shit, it's almost 2 decades ago. But you know, just thinking about all of that, it just made me realize, like, wow, like, you know, to be a woman, I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, right? And I'm like, okay, as a mother, if I was to have made certain choices that pretty much kind of tore my family apart, how would I come back from that? And I couldn't, in my mind, I'm like, I can't, like, I couldn't, like, imagine trying to be in those shoes. Like, if I made certain choices that broke my family, that foundation, that really broke my family foundation, and I'm gone away and then I come back, the foundation is not the same. And, you know, I'm realizing at this age that it's certain conversations that we have to have with our parents, excuse me, to get an understanding, not to disrespect them, but to get an understanding of what really happened, and just so it can help you to understand your emotions or your feelings towards someone else, you know. And I had to deal with that today, and I was like, man, I said I couldn't imagine that. So I had to really give my mother grace, because that's a lot. And then, you know, you're not looked at the same. You probably think that you're not looked at the same, but what I'm learning is a child's love for their mother is unconditional. You know, it's like, no matter what my mom do, I'm gonna always love my mom. And sometimes this is teaching me that it's okay to address things with your parents and to love them from a distance as well. And that's not to say, like, kick your family off to the side and don't ever talk to them. Like, no, like, some people you just genuinely have to love from a distance, and that's not a bad thing, and it's not a good thing. It just exists. And I had to really come to terms with that today. I'm like, man, I love my mom so much. Like, I love her so much, but some of her ways are just, it just don't click with me, you know. That's not to take love away from my mom, but I wanted to make this a video because I want other women to realize, when it comes to your relationships with your mom, we have to be able to heal those. You know, even if we don't receive the apology, or if we don't receive the nurturing moment that we're looking for, that moment to really coddle you as that young child that you were at that time, whatever situation happened. You know, I realized I'm not gonna get that nurturing moment with my mom because she has not nurtured herself properly. And if I wait on that, it's going to be sitting heavy on my heart forever, because other people's journeys are different. If I was to sit here and hold that to my mom, I would be bitter and unhappy all the time, and up until she gets the courage to come and, you know, address what she has done to herself and, you know, her family, you know, however she sees it put, you know. And that might be tomorrow, that might not be until 6 months, that might be until she's 60, who knows, you know. But I'm really learning that to be able to forgive in totality, it all has to boil down to coming to peace with it within your heart. So that means getting it out, crying. Like, y'all was just in Juice Head, just crying, like, just I was just letting it out. But it's like, it needs to come out, because I don't know why I feel the way that I feel about certain things that my mom do. And it's not to punish her, but I had to really figure that out for myself. And yeah, and it's hard because it's like, this the one person that you love that birthed you. So it's like, dang, it's hot, you know. It get real. This healing get real. You know, people all got y'all on the internet just telling you just to do shadow work, just journal. Like, man, what does that look like? Can we talk about that? It's not like just lighting up candles and putting a glass of wine and some beautiful lo-fi music in the background, and you dressing however with you make. Like, that's an aesthetic. When it comes to that real healing, that real emotional, deep in my core healing, is hard. You don't look so cute. You ain't got time to set up no aesthetic. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got time to do that. I'm trying to break this down to y'all because, like, I literally talk to women who deal with emotional traumas, but a lot of them emotional traumas come from their relationship with their mom. And I'm an example of that. A lot of the nurturing, and it's and what I'm about to say, it's hard when you look at your mom and you want certain nurturing moments with her, but you can't because she has not nurtured herself to where her heart ain't heavy, to where that she can see you and see herself and love it whole. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, does that really make sense? This stuff is not cute. I'm sorry they got y'all thinking healing is aesthetically pleasing. But if you really gonna heal, man, you gotta heal the mother-daughter wounds. As a woman, you gotta heal that. You got to. You can't avoid it. You're gonna always be having that heaviness on you. You don't want that, baby. And I had to learn this. I had to learn to forgive myself and make peace with it, because I have a little daughter, and I know within these 6 years of her life, I know she ain't seen the best of me. I know she done seen but I promise you, if you ask my daughter, she'll probably tell you I'm her world. And I be looking at her, I be like, she be telling me all the time, she be like, Mommy, I just love you so much. Like, I just love you so much. And then she just kisses me all night and day, and I be like, girl, I am struggling over here. Like, girl, I'm over here, like, I'm trying to figure out how to do this, do that. You love me? Like, wow. And I started thinking about that with my own self and my own mom. And I'm like, dang, my mama got all this stuff going on. She just don't know. I just want to hug her, you know? But I can't. Or, it ain't I can't now, but I couldn't, because I had so much heaviness on my heart from certain things that I experienced with my mom. And I had to come to peace with just understanding that she is dealing with her own journey and her own battle, and I had to learn to not take it so personal. You know, I had to really dive deep while I was in Juice Heads today. And I had to understand that, and I had to forgive myself for not, like, knowing or even looking at it in a certain lens. So I'm just grateful that I experienced that today. And whew, yeah, I hope I got that out the best way that I could for y'all. And I'm not editing this, so y'all getting the raw, uncut raw, uncut me. Like, this is just honest. Like, this is just my story, and I love that I'm crying. I do, because that means I'm healing, you know. I wish I had some tissue though. That's not a good part, but I just wanted to be honest and transparent. Like, that mother-daughter wound has to be healed, You cannot avoid it. If we talking about breaking real generational curses, a lot of this comes from having a relationship with your mother, or even, it's not even having a relationship with your mother, it's coming to terms with the relationship that you have with your mother. So sorry y'all, I got tear juice all up in my nose and just all of it. But really coming to terms with that. And it's okay for you to love your mom from a distance. You know, still love and appreciate your mom, but even if her ways are not the best things, you know, you can still be, it's knowing that you can still be around your mother and still love her to the best of her capacity and yours, if that makes sense, you know. But it's also helping you to set healthy boundaries for yourself, because you don't want to get too upset or depressed because you don't have that relationship that you might see your friends have with their mother, or you might even see it on social media with other, you know, influencers who have good relationships with their mom. So it's always important to come to peace with the relationships that you have with your mother, no matter how it is. You know, if you know that you have to love your mom from a distance, that don't mean that you don't love her, but you just know that you're an adult now. You have certain boundaries, and you just want to create a healthy relationship, because at the end of the day, it's all about your journey, and it's all about you bringing peace to your heart. and it feels good ultimately to be able to do that, you know, whether we wanted it to happen this way or not. So, you know, it just takes just having a conversation and everything. So yeah, I think I'm done. Like I said, it's the raw and uncut. Comment arose below if this resonated with you, if you want to express your thoughts on your or comment your relationship with your mom and all that good stuff, like, please drop it down below. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your perspectives, all that good stuff. Peace out, family.